Hey, Cortavius here. Been doing some math on the Coalition event, so Bill pulled out the spreadsheet, did some calculations, and tried to determine, all right, how much is this gonna take? How much daily energy is it gonna take? Let's get into that. Before I do that though, click the link in the description below and you can add Narma, the legendary poisoner, to your account, who would be great for starting out in Clan Boss. You also get the best epic in the game, Uugo. You get Anax and Mausoleum Mage as you progress, and enter Desert Queen, that code, and you also get Anax, who's an incredible champ to start with. So great starting raid. Just got to do 4 things. Step 1, log out of Player and Play on the PC and uninstall. Step 2, click the link in the description and register with a brand new email. Step 3, launch a raid and complete the tutorial. And step 4, go to your inbox, claim Narma, and then enter the Desert Queen and get Anax. And on day 1, you're rolling with 3 champs. Pretty crazy. All right, let's get into the math. So we have the rewards here. These rewards on top, everybody gets if the whole globe does stuff. And we get a 2 times points multiplier if the whole globe does that as well. For the sake of this discussion, I'm assuming the globe's gonna hit these numbers. So that's pretty important for us as a community to hit those. Otherwise, it's all more work for everybody. And then from there, you know, there's some good rewards in here in general, and I guess if it's stuff I would have done anyway, then it's just free rewards. But I would say a lot of the stuff isn't stuff you would do anyway. You're gonna be doing it just to earn points. And the big things I think you're really getting out of this is the relic forging materials. So you get 100 rare pieces there, you get 200 rare pieces. So you're gonna have enough rare pieces to fuse 2 relics. You'll get about 1 3/4 epic rolls. And then for legendary, you get 200 legendaries. So you'll have 2 chances to roll legendary. And then the big carrot at the end is you get a mythic roll. So what does that mean? I guess you're going to go for the chance to get something good. And if you look at rares, you basically have an 84% chance to get a rare and a 0.5% chance to get a gold, or a 0.01% for a mythical. So rares, you're pretty much going to get rares. So I don't put too much stock into those rolls. If I roll epic, I've got a 36% chance to get epic and then measly chances to get good stuff. So the 1.75 epic rolls you get, not that compelling to me. Gold though, okay, I got a 40% chance of getting a legendary relic. So, all right. Now we're talking some decent percentages there. I mean, 60% of you are still going to go home disappointed, but there is a 40% chance. And the big carrot on the top is the mythical materials. You're gonna get either a legendary or a mythical relic. Not many times in the game you can say I'm guaranteed to get a legendary relic in this game. So now what can I get? That's where the problem is, and they dump you into this 50-50. You still have a 50% chance to get a standard relic, but the 4 standards you can get are all, those are some good choices there in the legendary and mythical relics. Or if you can get into these Chaos Awakes, you have a 50% chance of getting one of these. And now I got a 20% chance of landing into one of these 2 mythical. And there's some good ones in here. I mean, you've got 40% more crit damage for a champ, along with doing more damage. Another crit damage, and you get shatter buffs. This one has 6 speed plus accuracy. That one's got 12 speed on it. So just the speed boost alone. And like one of these in the standard one, 24 speed on a hallowed hilt. I might want that more than any of the others. That's crazy. So yeah, that 20,000 point level is pretty compelling to get to, but it's definitely a lot of work to do that. So that's where the math comes in. You have these quests. I won't read them all to you. I think the basics are all pretty easy to do for both my free-to-play and my main, if you've been playing for a little bit. I mean, obviously, if you're brand new, those are going to be hard. But then in the expert quests, you've got Get Thol and Foulbeard, so now you're kind of doing the fusion if you want those 220s. You got a fully upgraded skills. I'm going to show you analysis where I assume there's some quests I'm not going to get done. I'm assuming I'm not going to do that on either account. I don't want to book this guy. I don't think he's worth it yet. Maybe I want to later, but I'm not doing it just for this event. And then you got to clear stage 10 of the event dungeon with Thol. Let's assume that's doable. Full unlock his masteries. Okay, that's just more energy. Awaken him 3-star. I assume they're going to have a path or a titan for a 3-star, you know, and then earning tracks and superiors. I mean, they are superiors, the only problem here. So that means you've got to get to the later stages. I don't even know that I'm farming those on the free-to-play, so I'd have to advance on those. The main has no problem. 36 more damage, million and 5. Brutal Chimera, that means my free-to-play would have to advance. 20 live arena, you could do at any level, just time. All double boss stages on Dead Rise on hard. I'm assuming my free-to-play can't do that. And all Awakened stages on Plague Home on hard. My free-to-play, once again, can't do that. The main can do those. And then when you get to the elites, I mean, there's a lot of them here that are just game changers that are just are going to rule out a lot of accounts. Full and Foul Beard to level 5. I don't know that they're going to offer a 5-star soul or not. Maybe that's the spending level here, and we're only going to get 3 stars for free. Don't know, or for work. And then clear stage 30, clearing stage 30 alone, a lot of people are having a challenge with. Now doing it with this attack glass cannon guy, yeah, I'm assuming I can't do that. 175 turns on Nightmare. That might be a manual run on the main, and on the low free-to-play, no way. 1 key Ultra Nightmare, main, sure, free-to-play, no way. 40 live arena battles, yeah, I can do it. And then the Sand Devil, Shogun's Grove, Dragons, Ice Golems, Fire Knight, and Spiders, all top levels, short amount of turns. My main should do all those. My free-to-play won't have a shot on any of those. All Awakened stages and Soul Cross on hard, and all double boss stages and Soul Cross on hard. That's the farthest hard one to get to in the Cursed City. My main hasn't even done those yet. Maybe I'm capable, but I'd have to build a lot of champs to go there and play the RNG game. So I'm assuming I can't do any of those. I will pause this video and I'm gonna go see if I can burn through this thing a few times and how long does it take me? Hopefully I don't get sidetracked. But let me do that and then come back and tell you how long that took and the energy. I'll be back. So 11 minutes later from when I said I'd come back, I have completed and locked out, grayed out, the 75-point bonus. So that's kind of disappointing. So it means you can only do that one time, then it's going to lock me out for 2 days and 7 hours. So you can only get those 75 points the first day. Then you're going to have to take 2 days off. Well, crap, that throws off my math, right? Because I can't get those 75 points. Crap. So this took me, 11 minutes to get through the full rotations. So if I just throw a bunch of energy into Sand Devil or Shogun's Grove, which takes my team like 9 seconds to beat, yeah, I can burn through a lot of copies of these then, and a lot of copies of these. But you're locked out from getting 75 points. Well, crap, that really changes the energy mix or the gem mix if you're gonna have to buy refills, because that's only 30, that's 15, that's only 30 points for each of these, or 15 for each, 30 total. Crap. Let me go look at that spreadsheet again. So let's turn to the spreadsheet then and show you the math I did based on looking at those quests. And walking through those will be helpful to show you the color. Hold on. So what the spreadsheet is showing you is I put in the columns, all the points you can get from each of those quests in the basic, expert, and elite. And then I'm doing math from there. So the red highlights are quests that my main is not interested or cannot do. And the gold, yellowish ones are the ones that the free-to-play can't do or has decided not to do. If I add all that up, then, and I scroll so you can see, the total points available are 8,100. By the way, as I go through this column, you'll see up on the top here, the formulas if you wanted to reproduce this. So 8,100 points are available for everybody if you did all the non-repeatable quests, the limited quests. If I subtract the ones that my main didn't want to do, that's 6,640. For the free-to-play, that's 3,740 because there's a bunch in that third column. There's a lot of points weighted to that third column, unfortunately. So for progressing accounts, it's tough. So back to the main, I'll just walk through this column now. The double points are so if I get 6,640, if the community hits the 2 times, which I'm assuming they will, that will double my points, and I'll get 13,280 points just from doing the limited quest that I choose to do. That'll leave me 6,720 points short of the 20,000 goal. I can get the 2 times multiplier on the points I earn from that as well, so I need to get 3,360 repeatable points, and those will get doubled. For the 75 point tiers, which once again, that is in this third section here, you can only get those every 3 days. So you can only get 525 points, because in 20 days, you're only going to cycle through 6 times. That's 525 points. So I got to get 2,835 in those first 2 categories where you can only get 15 each. And right now that's Classic Arena and the non-artifact dungeons. Those might change in 3 days, by the way. I hope they don't get harder and harder and harder as we go along, as we're all more invested and they just make more energy cost. Those are pretty doable right now. We don't know that they'll stay that way. But for now, we're assuming that the math is the same, even if they're harder to do. It just may take more energy. So that's 189 repeats you need to cycle through. That's 9 repeats per day. That's 1,000 energy per day if you do, I'm assuming, 20 arena fights a day of some form of arena. Classic 3v3 live arena. If you do more than that, you'll cut down on the energy requirement. And then over 20 days, that's 20,860 energy to get a shot at a couple rares, a couple epics, a couple legendary, and a guaranteed legendary or mythical relic. I think the endgame whale types are going to say 21,000 energy is worth that. And for those that are into arena, live arena, 3v3 arena, the energy could be a lot lower than that if you spend a lot of time and get refills in arena. Some people are sitting on refills in their inbox, and you get a bunch of these in for free. Others would use gems. So there's a gem cost versus an energy cost. But you can definitely lower the requirement. This is assuming 20 arena fights of some fashion a day. So that's 20,000 energy over 20 days. For the free-to-play, that's 47,927 energy. So I'll probably come back and by the end of this video and talk about whether you could do the fusion or this, but just keep in mind when I get to that, it's 47,000 energy or 14,000 gems worth. Yeah, that's all the resources I have. So free to play. Anyway, that's the math in the spreadsheet. That view, and if you look at the top 100 players, there's people who've said, yeah, energy, got plenty of that. I'll just go farm Sand Devil until my heart's content, and they'll burn through that amount of energy and repeat through it. So that's telling you there's no way they've done all of the all of the quests yet, because some of those you can't do, but they could do most of them. But they have got to be blowing through those repeatable cycles. So you can just do it. So personally, I don't know that I'd be doing that now. Like, these guys are just going to go for the top spots in the world. But if you're just trying to get to 20,000 points, I'd wait for the next Sand Devil tournament, the next Shogun's Grove tournament, and just get a bunch of points in there, and you'll repeat through this while doing a tournament and getting points for that, and maybe you get to a top placement in your tournament. That'd be the smarter time to do it. Of course, I'm probably not the only one on the planet thinking that, so that next tournament could have a bunch of people pushing. But I think that's what I would go for to try and get through some energy. And then I don't do my Classic Arena. I don't ever use my Classic Arena tokens every day because I've already maxed the Great Hall. But for a while, maybe I go do some more Classic Arena and burn through those. So anyway, I'll stop there. I think from the summation of it all, I think it's definitely doable. I think it's definitely on the main. I'll do it because I can burn through these cycles here to get these repeatables, and I can get enough of these done. And the good news is I think you can skip these events down here that you don't want to do, like booking this champ if you don't want to use your books. If you're just willing to cycle through these repeatable processes and use some energy and some Classic Arena tokens or gems to buy them, however you need to. So they've set it up, I think, in a way in which it's flexible to do what you want to do it. And if you're willing to put a lot of energy into it, it looks to me 100% doable. Free to play, for those same reasons, will probably sit out because I'll say, well, you know what, a shot at getting that relic later, boy, that's a ton of energy to burn when the free to play is going to prioritize doing fusions in general. But, honestly, last thought, if you said this champ wasn't that compelling, I'll skip the champ and I'll skip his soul chase thing, especially if that's a Titan. And instead, I'll use all that energy towards getting through these things. I'll get some more Shogun's Grove and Sand Devil materials, and I'll get a mythical or legendary relic at the end of it. Would I rather have a mythical or legendary relic or the champ? That's an interesting choice to make, to be honest. So I hear myself on the free-to-play saying I'm going to go after the fusion, but now I'm actually asking myself, well, gee, that's an interesting use of energy would be don't go after the fusion and go get that one relic and have 4 chances at other relics along the way. Fascinating. Anyway, that's the choice out there. Love to hear what you guys are doing. Hope that was helpful. Appreciate it, and have a great day.